And here we are at Dive 3 profile. Again, the profiles aren't very exciting. Man, these stupid blips are just pissing me off to no end. I have no idea what's causing it. I don't know if it's noise on the USB bus or... I feel like if I don't move my mouse and don't talk, it doesn't seem to happen. I don't know. When I move my mouse, I get them worse. I don't know. It's almost like it's some kind of electrical noise, but I don't get them as bad in Linux. I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe it's just something with the driver. Anyway, there's nothing. It's not professional, but I don't know how to fix it. So until then, just going to have to live with it. You know, I'm watching the videos as I commentate, and I actually have trouble playing videos in Linux, especially high frame rate videos. So pick your poison. You know, I can't get the video to work in Linux, can't get the audio to work in Windows. What a cluster. If I could mash the best of both worlds together. Yeah, it's just not ideal. But that being said, here's the profile for Dive 3. Nothing too exciting here. We started going deeper. Dive 2 is kind of deep. We'll pass the thermocline. So the thermocline on these dives, or at this particular time at Mermet, was about 28, 30 feet. So you felt it after that, or below that. Yeah, and again, the temperature on my computer, you know, it's not an instantaneous temperature. It takes time to settle. And there was a dive I did, the last dive I did, the sixth one, which was a fun dive. The next day, we got freezing. I've never been that cold underwater in my life, I don't think. I don't know where we were, what the temperature was, but it was freaking cold. Anyway, let's get into the footage. And here we are, starting out on the surface this time. That orange lift bag you see, that's the one rated for 150 pounds. So this time, we were using the heavyweight, the 10-ton weight. Yeah, there's not too much. Is that a jellyfish? I don't know. So there's actually freshwater jellyfish in this quarry, and I'd never seen them until this weekend, and they were everywhere. It must be the time of year for them. You'll see them in subsequent videos. Oh, look at me kicking up the bottom. Yeah, you're not supposed to do that. This video is kind of boring. As you can see, we just descended, and he's going to hide. We're going to the start location, which I don't even remember where it was now. But basically, how these would work, we'd get to an area. He told me to wait there. He'd go off, hide the weight, come back. And then he'd be my search buddy, but I was the one doing searching. You know, he was just kind of following me around and doing the search pattern. So a lot of the search patterns have, you know, it's a two-pronged approach because you're supposed to always dive with a buddy. So it takes two people to execute them. So he'd do what he needed to do for the search pattern, but he wouldn't actually look for the object. That was 100% my job. Of course, in real life, we'd both be searching for it, but we're just heading to the location now. I'm about to drill out my eardrums, listening to these pops. Oh, hi. Not professional. Maybe I just need a new computer. I've never been satisfied with this computer. It's an Asus. Sorry, Asus. I won't be buying another one of yours. That's just first problem. I got this thing, and I think I've mentioned in previous videos that there's the weight. So that's 50 pounds. The keyboard would miss letters every now and then on the type. You know, when I'm typing, it'd miss a letter, and you think, oh, did I not tap that key? But you know you do. You know you did. And I don't remember why I was trying to get his attention. I think I was asking if he wanted... was going to ask him if he wanted some help. I even tapped him and he didn't turn around, so I'm glad it wasn't an emergency. But back to the computer, I finally learned that there was, after a lot of Googling, there was some kind of driver incompatibility between the touchpad and the keyboard driver or something, so I disabled the touchpad in the BIOS and that fixed the problem, but, you know, it's freaking 2019 at this point, they should have figured that out. We'll be searching in the next video. Okay, I remember now. So he took me to this point of interest. Whatever this was, I can't even remember. But he told me to wait here while he went to go hide the object, so I'm just kind of killing time. Thought I'd look around. Look for some fishy fellers. There's probably some in there somewhere. Here, fishy, 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 fishy. Oh, what's the name of this? I can't remember the name of this point of interest. So you hear the XM radio in the background. Hermet has these underwater speakers, which is probably going to get most of these videos, you know, copyright stricken. But that's fine. All of 2 or 3 people watching them, not making money on them anyway. What was this? I might have to get out my Mermat map and try to figure out what this was. What this is. I just can't remember. Now, I'm being quiet right now. I'm not hearing the... When I shut up, I don't hear the blips. Everybody shh. I heard a few that time. I don't know. I can't figure it out. I've done some light Googling so far and haven't hit on anything. So I think it's a me problem. It's probably not an Audacity problem. I think it's very low level. It just sounds like noise in the data path somewhere. I don't know. I don't think it's a microphone problem either, but it might be. This is a decent microphone. It's a, I'm sure I've mentioned in previous videos, it's a Logitech Yeti Blue X, or Blue Yeti X. I think I paid about $150 for this, so it should be not having these problems, which, like I said, in Linux I hear it very less frequently, so I don't think it's a microphone problem. I don't know. Alright, I will stop bitching about it, I promise. Maybe I even brought it to your attention. But he's about to return, so when we come back, we will be actually searching for objects. Or the object. Alright. Alright, finally to the search. So this search pattern was called a Jackstay pattern, I think. It's Jack something. I think it's Jackstay. Weird name. There's actually 2 Jackstay patterns outlined in the course. There's one where, let's see if I can describe these without looking them up. Yeah, I remember them. So the first one in the course is basically you take a rope, like I've got now on this massive reel. Yeah, let's talk a second about this reel. This thing is huge. Look at that rope. I felt like a clown going to the water with this thing hanging off me. Yeah, but anyway, so in the first Jackstay pattern, you secure the rope, and that's what I'm doing with this 2-pound weight. So I had 2 2-pound weights attached to me going in the water, and that's good enough to kind of weigh the rope down. So I clip the weight onto that end of the rope, and he's telling me, okay, go this way, this is our search area. So I'm swimming out. This rope was, I think, 95, 100 feet long, something like that. So I guess I'll talk about the Jackstay pattern we did here first, which is actually the second one in the book. And so on this one, you secure the rope like I just did. You pick a direction. That's what I'm looking at now. Well, I'm basically seeing what direction we're going, and we're going, what was that, west? I think that was west. And I unroll the rope. And this pattern, you and your buddies stick together, so that's kind of the advantage of this pattern. And you roll the rope out, and you're searching, of course, while you're doing the rope, working the rope. And you swim to the end. So actually, on this leg, you're just unrolling the rope. I mean, obviously, you'd probably be searching too, but the idea is to unroll this rope. Once the rope is out, then you and your buddy swim down the rope, searching while you're swimming. Then if you get to the end of the rope, you pick it up, you move it, you move the weighted end into the area you're searching towards this area you're searching. So basically, you're moving it kind of diagonal, and so the rope is diagonal. There's a certain offset, I don't know, 10 degrees, however far you want to move it. It depends on the visibility. And then you swim down the rope again, searching. So you're kind of easing your way into the search area, if you can envision this. You swim down the rope, move it into the new search area. So now the rope is pointing diagonally where it was pointing. You go down the rope again, get to the other end, move it diagonally into the search area, swim down the rope. And you don't want to move it far enough. You don't want to move it far enough so you miss area. So you want a slight overlap, and that all depends on the amount of visibility there is. And you kind of do that methodically. You do that methodical approach until you find the object, run out of air, etc. That's Jackstay pattern number 2. Number 1 is kind of the same start. You unroll the rope, you secure it with some means. Here we used weights. You and your buddy are not together on this though, so he would have stayed at that. He would have stayed at the start of the rope. I would be unrolling this by myself, moving out. When I got to the end, I'd give him a signal with a rope tug, and we'd start the search. We'd face each other and swim toward each other along the rope, searching for the item. Kind of like playing chicken almost. Then when we get to the end of the rope, we signal each other with rope tugs. Pick up the rope. Both of us move the ends towards the search pattern. Here we go. I finally got to the end, so I was securing this end. Yeah, the light gets bright. Yeah, so I just kind of got my other 2-pound weight, clipped it to the reel. That was cool. Yeah, I clipped the line, clipped it to the reel. Now it won't unravel. Now the rope won't unravel from the reel. And I just hung it on the bicycle. Boom! Look at that. Perfect. So now we swim down the rope looking for the object. I was talking about... Oh, this is Jackstay pattern number 1. So in pattern number 1, like I said, we start at opposite ends of the rope. So if this is pattern number 1, he would be on the other end of the rope. I would have tugged to say, hey, let's go. And then we'd swim toward each other. If we didn't find it, we tug. When we get to the end of the rope, then both of us would move the ends towards the unsearched portion of the search area. Tug again to say start, swim toward each other, rinse and repeat. But on this one, we stuck together. So on this one, you basically swim down the line. And when you get to the end, you move one end of the rope into the unsearched search area. And yeah, you just kind of methodically, the rope just kind of helps you, stay in line, in direction. And one thing about the search patterns, at least for the weekend, I didn't have to do them for very long. He always kind of conveniently hid the objects in the, I guess, beginning portion of the search pattern. And also the visibility is pretty good. This is about as good as you're going to get at where I'm at. Did I find it already? I think I found it already. Boom. Did I? Yep, there it is. See, we barely searched. If I had not been futzing with the reel, I probably would have seen that when I was reeling it. All right, this is when my. Sorry, you're gonna hear a mouse click. This is when my knot woes really began. Yeah, I turned the light off. It was bright enough. Yeah, so I had my rope in my pocket. That was kind of a pain. It's when you got those gloves on, you just lose so much dexterity. It's really a man. It's just tough. This is my first time wearing these gloves too. So my old gloves, the right one broke. There was a strand from one of the seams unraveling for months, and I knew that was not going to end well. So I bought these gloves. They had really good reviews in terms of warmth, which I wholeheartedly agree with. They were very warm. They're warmer than my last ones. I think they're meant to be almost semi-dry gloves. They have a very tight wrist seal, and water did not leak in there very easily at all. But they are a total pain in the ass to put on. Oh man, they are tough to get on, tough to get off. Man. But once they're on, they do an excellent job. They got some kind of fancy space age infrared reflection technology. I don't know. I'd have to read the marketing flyer again, but they're about 70, 80 bucks, I think. I almost went with some $20 cheaper, but it's like, you know what? This is what I do. I'm a diver. This is my hobby. So I allow myself to spend money on diving. And here I go, fiddling with this line. There's just some kind of mental, and there shouldn't be. I tied this knot 100 times above the surface. And man, you get underwater, you start looping it around things, and it just, I don't know, things change. It's so weird. I don't know why that is. It's like the spotlight's on now, and I start to freak out. That's not mental fortitude. I need to be better than that. But at least this time I was like, alright, I'm looping it through the lift bag, looping it through the weight. That's what you missed in dive 2. I just looped it around the weight instead of including the lift bag in the loop. That was embarrassing, but funny, all part of the experience. You know, I'll never make that mistake again. This is the lift bag rated to 150 pounds. So this is a 50-pound weight, which, yeah, you could not pick this thing up without a lift bag or, you know, blowing air into your BCD, which I already said you're not supposed to do, because if you do that and accidentally drop it, then all of a sudden you're very positively buoyant and you can shoot to the surface. And man, I wish my camera was pointed up just a little bit. Yeah, this is what I was worried about. Can't quite see what the hell I'm doing here. Yeah, I was stirring up shit and I didn't care. Oh man, this is total amateur hour here. I'm sure my instructor is just sitting there rolling his eyes. What is this doofus doing? Look at me trying to freaking figure this knot out. Oh man, it's tough. That rope got progressively worse too. That white center part, that kept getting longer and longer all week. So I'm sure I was screwing this rope up. I can't remember. Yeah, this is the one where I never figured it. I never got this right. I never got this knot right. Loop through the lift bag and the weight. So this is where I did what I did on the second dive. And I'll be damned, I went, you know, I was doing it right. I could not figure out why it wasn't working. I think I tried this 3 times. And it didn't work. And so I finally took the lift bag out of the loop. When I got to the surface, I finally practiced doing, you know, looping through the lift bag and the weight. You know, that shouldn't matter. You still should tie the same knot. It doesn't matter what it's looped through. But there's a mental thing there. And actually on the surface, I reproduced the problem where the knot was not catching. I was doing the wrong knot, essentially. Yeah, on the surface, I practiced this as soon as I got up from here. I was practicing on the surface, just looping through the lift bag, looping through the weight. And I found out what I was doing to make the knot not catch. I can't explain why it didn't work. So basically, I think what I had, you know, I discovered this on the surface. I was grabbing the rope with some kind of initial half turn or something. I can't really explain it. And I can't explain why it makes the knot not work. But, yeah, that's something I did not even run into. Didn't happen, you know, before I got here when I was practicing tying these knots before I even got to the quarry. So I'm thinking, I'm doing it right, and look at that. It's just not, it's like it's looped, it's just not catching. And I'm down here just like racking my brain, like, what is going on? Why is this not working? I'm sitting here checking my air. I did this like 3 times, and I just couldn't figure it out. And I was about to turn to my instructor and just be like, you're gonna have to do this. I can't figure this out. We're gonna have to tie a buoy to this, and I'm gonna have to go get more air or something. Yeah, this is amateur hour. This is embarrassing. But that's the whole point of the class, you know. You learn by doing. That's life. So yeah, I'm making all. Well, you can't even see it now, but I'm making all the right motions. But I started with that half turn in my left hand that was screwing everything up. That's what I discovered on the surface later. And man, I was sweating at this point under there. Getting frustrated. Yeah, but you know, you gotta take your lumps to learn something. And I think I finally said, yeah, I finally just tied 2 knots and inadvertently got the half hitch right. So you can see, yes, I can see it now. So you see where the left end of the rope I wrapped around my left hand there, it's kind of pointed down. That needs to be pointed up. That's the problem. That's what I discovered on the surface. Yeah, so this is not gonna work, I don't think. Watch, this will be the time it works. Yeah, that initial loop needs to be up. Yeah, look at that. It's not catching. I was just freaking out at this point. I'm like, what is going on? I didn't know. I didn't know what was happening. I was so confused. Hold on, I gotta click the mouse. Got people messaging me, you know. Gotta tell them, shut up, go away. I'm in the middle of something, I'm working here. I got commentary to do, I gotta talk. People want to hear me talk. What does that say, 38 feet deep? Yeah, I was checking my air. What's the air say? 10... can't quite read it. But at this point, I was seriously like, alright, I'm gonna run out of air before I figure this freaking knot out. Here we go. This is what, probably try number 3, I think. I haven't been keeping track. I think at this point, yeah, at this point I was like, alright, I can't figure this out on the lift back. Alright, see, so you see the left side of the, I'm pointing at the screen, you can't see. So the leftmost loop around my hand, that rope is pointed up. That's what you want, that's what you need. At least the way this knot was, the way I've learned to tie this knot. That's what was wrong. If you go back and look, that's what I was trying to say in the lift bag, when I had the lift bag loop through. That leftmost point of the rope was pointed down. It was looping down, and for whatever reason, I can't visualize it, but that means the knot is not going to work. I learned that the hard way 4 or 5 times underwater. So this one is going to work, but I don't have the lift bag loop through the loop here. I think this one's going to work. Let's not get ahead of myself. Yeah, there we go. Boom. Look at that. Tight as a button. Tight as a drum. There. What did I say? Tight as a button? What the hell does that mean? Yeah, so I tied the bowline around the weight, and I was like, alright, Now I need to tie a bowline around the lift bag loop. And that worked, but the problem with that was... Let me see if I can find... So I just looped it through the lift bag. Yep, and see, the left part of the rope is pointed up on my... or going up on my hand. That's what you need. Well... I just undid it. Let's take a look at what I do here. Yeah, it's a pain. Like, I wish... Because the lift bag's like floating in front of your face and the rope's just floating. It's weird with, you know, the reduced gravity effect under there. Yeah, you can see that leftmost part of the rope is pointed up in my hand, and that's the magic that you need. It's up through the bottom, underneath the top part of the rope, over the loop and down under. And then you pull it. Yep, that's good. That'll work. Yep. And at this point, I was just freaking relieved. I figured this something out. Uh-oh. Did I not? Did I mess this one? I thought that looked good. Did I? Yeah, that's good. That's good. But you see, I got like 5 feet of rope now between the lift bag and the weight, so that's an additional kind of challenge. Probably not ideal. This lift bag also had some air in it, which made it float initially, which was annoying. Yeah, you see the instructor just clipped the reel to the rope. That's kind of cool. So now we're lifting the reel and the weight at the same time. It's a good way to carry things. You can see it's kind of tough to get the spare reg in there. Look at that. It doesn't want to cooperate as well as it should. Oh, blew myself in there. Yeah, in fact, my spare reg here, the second stage, I think I gotta get that tightened up. So as soon as I turn it up in the water, it was bleeding air. I wasn't even pushing the purge button. That should probably be tightened up a little bit, because that's not what you want. I should probably get another regulator. The one I've got now, it works. It's been great for me. But like that tightness, I don't know the technical term for it. You can, so the better regulators than the one I have, they come with knobs on the second stage where you can adjust how easily the air comes out, essentially. I mean, so you want it where you don't want it to free flow, where, like what mine is doing now, where I kind of turn it upside down and it starts bleeding air. You don't want that. But you don't want to have to inhale hard either to get air out. So there's a fine line there you got. And I'm sure that can be adjusted on that regulator, like internally, but the more expensive ones, you know, come with knobs on them that you can quickly adjust in the field as needed. But here we go. What did that computer say? I didn't quite catch that. We're going up now. Yeah, I think this was the one. I was bleeding air. Yeah, my camera started getting squirrely on my head. I think it fell. Yeah, my camera fell off. I remember that now. Thank goodness I got that tether. Oh, this is beautiful footage here. Yeah, I got to the surface and I was scared. I remember this now. I couldn't get it tied around both the weight of the
loop in one knot. Is that never gonna work?
Is that never gonna work? No, yeah. Idiot, it works. You just can't tie knots. Trying to listen to myself. At this point, I was sweating. I thought I totally lost this camera. I couldn't find my tether. This is why I use a tether.
Wait, say that again? Yeah.
We're going to tie something to something.
So this is not the way to do it. You don't want to do 2 knots?
That was fine.
Okay.
But I want you to know how to do it with 1 knot.
I don't know. I can't get that going.
I finally found it.